Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I coach entrepreneurs using astrology to make smart choices with their time and energy so that running their businesses doesn't feel like it's sucking the life out of them. Welcome to the April 2nd Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about how to prepare for the end of the Mercury and Venus retrogrades. The key to all of it is still taking action. We had a lot of great questions and coaching on this call, so feel free to skip ahead to that section, and I'll see you on the other side. Go. Welcome, everyone. Oh my gosh, we have a new person, Joyce. Welcome. It's so good to see you. Krista, good to see you too. I hope you've got the link things squared away. I sent you that new link, or the same link, but yeah. Lilia, Amanda, Shannon, Daisy. All right. So good to see you all. Let's dive in. As you may have seen on the email that I sent this morning, and it's not meant to scare you guys, but it's going to get faster over these next 2 weeks, and it will, yeah, we won't feel it by the end of the 2 weeks, but give it a few days after that, and you will feel things start to tumble. And I don't know if you can remember back to last year, but the same thing happened, and we all made it through. And we'll just get to see what happens. All right. So I'm going to start sharing my slides. And here we are, April 2nd. Wow. Unbelievable. So Joyce, you're a first timer. Welcome. I just want to just give you a brief outline of what we do briefly to just give you the visual sense of what's going on. Is this is just a snapshot of a chart in Berkeley, California, at the point at which it's generally noon, but you get to see where all the planets are. And you see this big clumping here of all these planets all gathered over. I compare it to like going to the dog park and seeing like everyone has congregated in this one spot. And you cannot help but like feel that energy over there, whether you look or not. It's definitely affecting you. And so that's kind of where we're at right now, is that there is this intensity in life where everything is just focused in this one area. And it is this Pisces Aries kind of border. But what else is going on? Mercury is, you can't really see it because I think it's covered over by something. It would normally be green in this color, and it is still moving backward. The planets generally move in this direction, but when they are in retrograde, they're moving backward according to how we see them in the sky. Venus here is also moving backward, but everything else is moving in this direction forward. And so both Venus and Pisces are, Venus and Mercury are back in Pisces. And so if you're starting to feel people's energies like building up around you, that is like your radar is picking that up. And that is a lot of what is maybe contributing to feeling overwhelmed or needing to make sure you're in the right spaces so you don't feel so overwhelmed by people around you. The other thing that is happening is that Mars is over here out in the lead. See how it's like, if everything's moving in this direction, Mars is the first thing, kind of. You see that? And Mars is about commitment. Mars is about putting your heart into something, and it is kicking down doors right now. I don't know if you can see it in the world or feel it in yourself, but like this, I got to get out there and do something. And that is going to be an energy that continues for quite a while. And just know that it is leading to some great things. So I had one more note. You may be feeling like it's time to be pushing to where this new paradigm is taking you. Like you're finally on board, you're finally getting it. And when Mars gets exactly opposite Pluto, and that won't be in too long a time, it will feel like you've hit the furthest spot away from where you need to be, and you're going to close the gap and catch up by next January. So I know that sounds like so far away, but we're on a path to make it. Okay. So I'm going to tick through
I'm sorry, Panda, you said it will catch up to Pluto by next June or July?
January.
January. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6 months away.
Okay.
And it will be another intense time, kind of like we had in this last January. But,
Thank
there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen between now and then. But just know you're going to close that gap, and you're going to catch up to this new paradigm and like push through it and make it.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks.
for that question. So on the 5th, and what is that, 12th or 4th? Is that Friday? Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday? A couple things happen. The first is that Mars here has been going through Cancer, this sign of Cancer, and it has been in this area of the sky since about last October. So if you think back to the fall and how you felt like you got onto this roll and were making progress, and then it kind of collapsed in early December. You had to backtrack, and I called it retrenching at the time. It's like, oh, like I was making progress, people were getting it, people were enjoying what I was bringing to the table, and then it kind of fell away. Well, it was opening up possibilities for you to trust your intuition. And all this time, it has been showing you a hint of where your growth will be this summer. So, um, since January or so, if you have been listening to that intuition and just having this feeling of, I got to do this, I can't quite explain it. It's kind of beyond logic, but I know I just need to. This is that energy, and you have been kicking down the doors for your growth to happen in starting in August. But just know that you've been setting the stage, and there will be more pieces that come later that help you understand what that growth will be. But just know that all the work you've been doing since January has been helping you get this going, get your growth going. And that will be it feels like a ways away, but here we are in April already, and we will get there. The other thing that happens on Saturday is that Chiron begins its new 2025 portal that day. And Chiron's energy is about having uh, like doing something and having an unexpected outcome. So I call it a snafu situation, normal, all effed up. And it is where you have this expectation of how things are supposed to go, and they never turn out the way you think they will. And this has been happening in with Aries energy of trying to bring something important to people's attention since 2018. So something that just has come to mind for me is like climate change has been a topic where scientists have been trying to say, look, this is really important. We need to pay attention. And it's getting more and more urgent. And in your own life, there is something that has been building inside you that you're trying to get people's attention about. And we're hitting these very late degrees this year of, if we don't pay attention, or if you don't pay attention to me, something big is going to happen. And that is what we are starting on Saturday. The day after, on Sunday, the Saturn portal opens at 25 degrees of Pisces here. And we've already had these hints of the people we want around us and potentially recognized who is not meant to be with us for the longer term. And when the Saturn portal begins for the next into the end of May, basically, it will be this opportunity to set those boundaries with people or decide, you know, maybe we don't need to spend so much time together. But this is that time from early April until late May to let people go, let groups go. And it doesn't mean it's forever, but it's more that who's going to really support me to do what I need to do for this year. And then you can reevaluate, right? But this is the energy that, oh, I've hung out with this group for forever. And it's just not feeling in alignment anymore. Not that they're doing anything wrong, but it's just not where I'm headed. That it's an opportunity to say, I'm going to step away for a while. And you guys are great. And what we've had has been wonderful. But I'm in a different direction right now. And I need different things around me. Then the next day, the Mercury retrograde ends. So when Mercury starts moving forward, it's almost like this opportunity to say, okay, I've got this crowd around me. Let's actually start having a conversation with the right people about what we're doing here together, how we're all on the same page, how we're all heading in the same general direction, and do something. And that means that one less planet is retrograde and only Venus is retrograde. So that is the kickoff of things starting to go faster. What day do we? Hi, Kim. Welcome. This is your first time. Um, and we're on April 7th here. So we're looking out the next 2 weeks. Feel free to ask any other questions. Uh, what else is happening on, you bet, on the 7th is that Venus crosses over Saturn, but going backwards. So it's still retrograde. And it will be this opportunity to say, okay, I feel validated about who are the right people to have around me. And so this is this internal, you may have an interaction with someone and say, oh, I was on the fence about you, but now I know it's time to go. Or you're a definite in. Like, oh my gosh, you get it so much, there's no way we can't hang out together. On the 8th, and for a little over a week, the sun has gotten so deep into Aries that it is moving through last year's Chiron portal and this year's Chiron portal. So the sun is about mindful action, to do things to bring something important to people's attention. And as it moves through the Chiron portals of last year and this year, unexpected things will happen. And we don't know what that will be. And the awesome thing is, it's an opportunity to do something bold, to just say, normally I might think this would never work. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. And whatever um, that is how you will find out who is part of your tribe. By taking that bold action, you may find out that people support you that you didn't realize. And so consider that over that period of time. A few days later, it enters this year's Chiron portal. And there's this little bit of overlap between last year and this year. But for the few days after this, you're really noticing, okay, whatever I do over these next few days are this indication of what it is that may not turn out the way I expect. I could do a launch and um, and it could be bigger than I've ever expected, or I do the same thing and it always worked before, but now it doesn't. But this is where you'll start to experiment with things and really be as curious as possible. Chiron really encourages us to like open up our just imagination to what could happen. And then the next day, it actually crosses over Chiron. So another powerful day to try something and actually see what happens. And then the next day after that, Venus moves forward, the 13th. So at that point, this is where things will start to get faster and faster, and you won't feel it for a few days, but it will really start to pick up. And when Venus starts moving forward, is this opportunity to actively attract in the people that get it, get you, get what this new paradigm means for you. And a great time to, again, for all you entrepreneurs, try something, be bold, because remember, you're still doing things to get people's attention and see who comes along. And then on the 15th, Mercury enters Aries. And so it will, um, uh, Mercury will, oh, wait, you know what? I just realized this Mercury line should be way back here, and that is a mistake. It's way back here and should be moving forward. But Mercury will be about using your mind, processing, communication to put something out there to get people's attention. And as Mercury moves steadily through Aries, it is with increasing depth and importance. So you don't want to hammer people over the head the first day, but start small and have this nice big build to something that is really, really important for you over the 3 weeks that it takes Mercury to move through Aries. And then finally, on the 16th, when we meet again, Mercury will move over Neptune at just half a degree. And combining that, putting something out there, and that, okay, Kim, I'll come back to your question. Neptune, that effortless ability, it's a nice way for things to land in a soft way. So if you've had trouble getting something across, just even getting the conversation started, a great day to give it a try 2 weeks from now, but only at the most surface level where you just want to get a spark going to inspire someone to want to engage more. And that might be a good day to do that. And then finally, the sun leaves that Chiron portal, this year's Chiron portal at 27 degrees. So that period, I think it was from the 9th to the 16th, is that real experimentation time to just go for it and see what happens. I'm going to go backward. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to look at your question, Kim. Date for our launch either this weekend. Wait till the 12th, 13th. Yeah. So glad to have you here. But in the meantime, getting the messaging is great to just see who responds. So look at your numbers, right? And see how things are converting and play with it to see what works and attracts people in. Okay, so let's look through this one more time and see how all the planets are clumped here and will stay this way for a little while, frankly. Okay, you can see Mars racing ahead. It's like picking up speed fast and it's about to go into Leo. So with the Mercury and Venus retrogrades coming to an end, life is going to speed up. I know you thought you were working as fast as you could, but it's going to be even faster. And look at it as your opportunity to go for it. um, you can be on a roll if you choose that for yourself. And the next 2 weeks, use this time to identify additional candidates for your tribe. Maybe you've been on the fence with people, or you've thought about, should I be talking to these people? Well, put yourself out there and see if they respond. And if they don't, then they're not meant to be for now. Um, and at the same time, you can, with that Saturn portal open, it's also about saying, okay, not you guys for now, whoever that is. So that by the end of these 2 weeks, you will definitely have more clarity about what you're bringing to people's attention and how they're responding to it. So let's just go through one day by day. On the 5th, Mars leaves this year's Jupiter portal, which doesn't start until August, but it is setting the stage for it. And it has been doing this since last October. So think about what you've been doing since late January. About what have you been putting your heart into that felt like beyond logic, where you couldn't quite explain it. And this is a hint of what that growth will be this summer. There will be more hints as the Sun and Mercury move through Cancer also, but just know that you're getting a hint of it now. On the 5th, also the same day, that Chiron portal opens for a little over a year. You'll be trying even harder to get people's attention on even more important issues. Or maybe you're taking that argument and saying, well, have you thought about what happens when this next effect? And you're taking that argument like a little deeper. So just be curious about who responds and where you're taking that message. The next day, that Saturn portal opens. And again, from now until late May, it's about discerning who's in and who's out, who really you need to have around you, because who you have around you will impact how well you meet the challenge of this new paradigm. And so you just want the best support group possible. And this can be multiple people, it doesn't need to be just one group. On the 7th, Venus crosses over Saturn. And so just thinking about who else might be a good fit for hanging around with. Same day, the Mercury retrograde ends. So just recognizing who is on the same page and starting to have those conversations. And then from the 9th, the 8th to the 16th, with it being exact on the 12th, this is what actions are you taking to get people's attention, to acknowledge what you really care about, what's really important to you, what do they really need to know, and on the 12th, potentially be pretty bold. On the 13th, then, Venus retrograde ends and it starts to move forward. And that's a time when you can actively attract the right people. So, great time for card open, right? And on the 15th, Mercury enters Aries. If you have a card open, if you're doing that launch, a great time to go live and invite people in to talk or say something to people where begin to communicate to get people's attention. And it's going to take 3 weeks for Mercury to move progressively through all of Aries. So just know you don't want to hit people over the head the first day. It's a slow build. And finally, on the 16th, Mercury crosses over Neptune and do something very simple and it should feel effortless. If you have to work at it, then that's probably too much. But that is a day when it might be really possible to get something out there and have people pay attention. So, third time's a charm for finding your tribe, because it's this back and forth through Pisces and Aries that is like, are you the right people or not? And this third pass as Venus and Mercury are going to go direct is like your final clarity. So if you were thinking way back in February, oh, you're my people, you get it, and you've been rethinking it, that's okay. This is the time. And the next 2 weeks in particular, but even through the end of April, because Venus will keep going forward to bring more people in, and just be confident in what you have to say, and the right people will respond. When the Mercury retrograde ends, you get to start having those conversations that get people on the same page. That while Mercury is in Pisces, it is about communicating and using your mind and processing actively to sense the feelings of the people around you. And through conversation is a great way to do that. And by steadily taking progressively bolder action, this is that building Aries energy, you can be the spark that fires up a movement. So if you are, a bunch of you are in Compass, but if you are feeling uncertain about your path and need some kind of clear, personalized roadmap for the months ahead, there's a lot coming. Let's just chat and see if we should work together to get you on track. And you can DM me or just message me here that with Compass, and we'll chat more. But any questions? I can go back to any slides. I'll go back to the tips for thriving and just see people have questions for like dates or energy or anything. Come on, Jen.
Panda, I probably have something that I'll work with you individually on, but the general gist is I want to have a crucially important conversation with a very close family member. And I was thinking of doing it this weekend. So.
Ah, if as long as it's like, are we on the same page thing? And can we have a follow-up conversation about what's really on my mind? Like that might be a way to just say, I've been thinking about this, and then this is where I'm at almost. Are you with me? Kind of thing. And not hitting them over the head quite yet with what you want to say. But the
Okay.
bold action is at least letting them know you want to talk.
Okay, that's helpful, but I'll probably check in with you to see if we can talk another time.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, I have
Thanks
a
for the
question.
Yeah,
I
Jen.
can always come up with something.
I love it.
Can actually two. Can you say when you said at the very beginning, you said Mars is way out in front.
Mhm.
Um, what did you say about it? What that means? You talked
I
about kicking doors down right now. Like I got to do this thing.
Right. So Mars is everyone is grouped back here in this
Yeah.
energy of what are we all doing together? I, as an individual, have something important that I need you all to know because hanging out with you is making me think about something. And it's then this progressive energy, the natural progression is, well, what am I going to do about it? And then how am I reflecting on what I've just done? And then what is my instinct on it? And Mars is like beyond the what are you all doing? I'm doing this. This is what I'm up to. And this is that energy. Whereas the next thing would be, here's what I have to show for it. Don't you all love what I bring to the table? It's not just that I have this idea. It's like, I'm doing this. This is great. I'm awesome at it. This is fun for me. Why haven't you all caught up to where I'm at? But there is this part of us right now, and we're getting there, right? And you can kind of see that in the world right now of people starting to strut their stuff a little early, but definitely going for it. And that's kind of what I mean by this energy is going on inside of us, even while we play nice, right? While we still want to understand how everyone's feeling, there is this fire inside of us that is like, this is so important to me. I've got to do something. Does that help, Jen?
Yeah. Yes. I love it.
Good.
Okay, the other question is from the slide we were on at the very end, you said you're talking about the we want to make sure that we've got the tribe with us to help you make the most of the new paradigm.
Yeah.
When you're talking about paradigm here, is that
Mhm.
like which paradigm are we talking about?
The new paradigm that 2025 is bringing you, that at the end of January,
Yep.
you had, we all had some eye-opening events happen that made it very clear that things are going to be different this year. Do you have the right people around you that will, it's so the new paradigm requires you to show up differently than you ever have before, and maybe to learn something new. And also it the new paradigm is going to pull out talents from you that you didn't know you had until now. Wouldn't be
Mm,
until this situation that you could even fathom that you had to do this. And so, do you have the right people around you who want that for you? Who don't want you to go back to the old ways? Because the old ways won't help you survive and thrive in the new paradigm. And so this is this time to find your tribe who's going to support you in all of those aspects. And this is more
I
than
love
just business related, right?
Mm, it's very exciting. So the paradigm could be like what's happening collectively kind of in the States. There's a new paradigm happening, but it could also be your own personal sort of paradigm shift.
Yes, it is global.
Okay,
So think
got it.
about the last time this happened was back in the time of the US Revolution, right? People's
Like
paradigms
the
shifted.
1700s?
Yes, late
Oh,
1700s.
wow.
I know. So big paradigm shifts in the global world and also in the day-to-day lives of people.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
we're reliving that everywhere. And just as a pull it all together, we're reliving that. We're reliving the energy of the Civil War. We're reliving the energy of the late 1930s. Um, there's just like we're reliving the energy of 2008 to 9. So like a lot of things are coming together. Um, that is extremely intense right now. So does
Wow.
that help, Jen?
Yes, thank you. I'm excited. I'm not actually seeing it as dismal as it sounds, like reliving Civil War energy and stuff like that. I'm seeing it as exciting.
I think it can be, right? It doesn't mean it's all unicorns and rainbows,
Yeah.
but it really gives us an opportunity to step up and show what we can do. And
Mm.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I like that part about it. That what's happening in the States is not exciting.
Right. We
But
still
yeah,
love you
okay.
guys, just so you know.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. That was so helpful.
Yeah. Um, Daisy, you had a question. How do you find your degrees in Aries? So, as a Compass member, you've got your nightstand journal. So go to page 6, and you have your all of your tools, your experience of life there, and look for the ones that are in Aries, and those would be your degrees.
Are they like planets degree or like specifically Aries?
Ah, so you'll be able to find both the degrees and anything that's in Aries. But in terms of preparing for Neptune in Aries, Neptune is moving up to 2 degrees in Aries, as is Saturn. So it's kind of this the right people come along, and you got to focus on the right ones who are
Mm.
paying attention to what you have to say. So in that lineup, you'll look at the very top of the table where any
Mhm.
tools you have that are between 0 and 2 and like 159 basically, those are the tools that come into play for trying to get people's attention.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. You said on page
And
6?
page 6 of the 2025 journal. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm looking at. Okay, got it. Got
you
it.
got it.
Okay. Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
you bet. Krista had to go. Amanda, could you speak more on the Chiron portal? Oh, okay. Yes. So Chiron is about unexpected outcomes. And in Aries, it is about unexpected outcomes as you try to bring something to people's attention in your fifth house. And that fifth area of life is about what you bring to the table and what you want people to receive because you are having so much fun. And so with Chiron in there, you could be having fun and others might not be having as much fun. Or the flip of that, and this is not all the time, but sometimes this can happen of you're not having fun with it, or if maybe it feels not as light and easy as you would want, but other people are like really getting it and um, feeling like they get a lot out of it. Is that is that resonating for you, Amanda? Because yes, absolutely, over this whole year, you will feel that energy more and more. And if you know that you can't predict the outcome, what if you just thought about it? I just am going to go for it and see what happens.
Let it be. That's been my motto. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you.
You bet. Shannon.
Hey there, Panda. I have a personal question, which I'll email to you later, but what's front and center for me right now in Atlanta? So, I'm in tech, but I have many, many, many friends at the CDC. And within the last 24 hours, they have fired 2,400 of them. And many of those my close friends. And they're fighting, many of them, but they're also concerned that science is dying. I mean, it's crazy what's happening. So, words of comfort that we can share with friends during this time period where there is just unprecedented disruption to their lives, not just losing a job, but what it means for scientists in the future. Just talk about this, finding your community, finding your tribe, leaning into that, this next wave of change will come from folks coming together and making that change. Like, what I mean, it's really hard to offer words of comfort right now, but what can we say based on
Yeah.
kind of what's going on?
So what I believe is that and it's not coming, it's not that far away. I mean, when Mars is pushing ahead to fight back, to fight with or this paradigm, and when we catch up to seeing the full scope of what it is, it's like now we know how to close the gap. And you can see people when they have fought back, it's actually working. And so I do think that when this, I forget exactly when this happens, I think it's the end of April when Mars is exactly opposite Pluto, but it will be like, oh, now we know exactly how to, like, maybe not, we can't go back to exactly the way things were, but maybe we can start, things needed to shift anyway. Let's start figuring out how that can happen and getting the tribe together and
Mhm.
letting each person have, or each group, each pod do whatever piece of it that needs to happen. So not everyone doing everything, but really dividing the work up to say, okay, you guys are going to handle this, other people are going to handle this part, that kind of thing. Because eventually this Mars is going to start moving completely into Leo. But this is where the next Mercury portal is. So
Mhm.
it is kicking down doors. It is probably like take no prisoners and just freaking going for it. And then we'll talk about it later, right? And that talking about it later comes this summer, which isn't that far away. This is the July, August portal where, Mercury will catch up and go back and forth and show people what they have to offer, what they can really do in this new paradigm that they would never have thought. When the sun goes through, when Venus goes through, all of that will like reinforce, yes, we can make it. And so there is hope. But there's a lot of work of kicking down doors for now until everything starts to catch up. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yes. Thank you, Panda.
And honestly, like if your crowd wanted, if you had a bunch of friends who wanted like a 2025 outlook call where I could do that same thing for all of them, I'm happy to do that. I honor their service to our country and want to be of support. Just
I
let me
will
know.
offer that. So my friend who is the poor chief of staff for the CDC and had to deal with all this, drive it. Unfortunately, I'm with her tomorrow night. So I will mention that very kind offer.
You bet. I'll hear from you later.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Kim, you have a question.
Hello. Nice to find this group. This was in my inbox. I don't remember signing up for this, and here you are.
Wonderful.
So, like everybody else, a lot going on. I follow astrology generally just to kind of know when to surf, but I'm launching. So I have one small company. Cash flow has been difficult. I've done it for 14 years and been really thinking, how is this going to shift? This April 27th, I've sort of semi-made plans to close, but then I have no money. So I'm also subsequently launching another part of that company to women to do online classes and programs, which I've dabbled with, but I'm terrified to let the first go, but I'm definitely ready to move in the second. Yikes. And I also have a dog right here who is not doing well. So I'm not making any decisions until I know how she's going. So it's really big right now. I also have a staff at my first company who I really care about her, but we've definitely come to an ending point, I think. She's a Leo with Mars and Leo. And so she has a lot of opportunity, I think, coming up. I don't think that's with us anymore.
Mhm.
So, one, do you do personal readings? Because I would love a session. I have a lot. So I haven't had an astrology reading in a few years, and now finding this group, this is such an answer to my prayers.
Uh, Kim, let's chat. If you go down to the chat and just choose me and give me your phone number so I can text you back, we can definitely have a conversation.
Yeah, it just seems so. It kind of, I knew this was going on, but it's really, and I'm trying to strategize and how can I do this? And, it's cash flow and it's moving into this new area, which is really a summation of my life, but I don't really have even clarity around that messaging. I'm just throwing it out there. And it's just like, I don't want to file bankrupt. Like it's also big. But there's
Right.
such a big upside, I think, if I can get my tribe.
Yes. Yes. And you're being bold and throwing it out there is exactly what you're supposed to do. So congratulations on feeling the energy and doing it. But let's
Yeah,
chat.
I've been, definitely back and forth about letting that other business go, but that sounds like this, wow, I'm like shaking literally. Okay. Yeah,
So nice
thanks
to
and
meet
good luck,
you.
everybody. This is great. Okay.
So
Nice
good
to
to have.
meet you. What's your name? Panda. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. My real name.
What's
Cameron, it was
that?
so great to see you. Sorry.
What did you say your name was? I'm sorry.
Panda like the bear, Hershey like the chocolate. It is my real name.
What a great name.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi to Theo, Cameron. Anyone else? And Brianna, so awesome that your law firm law firm is getting involved. That is brave and applaudable. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Well, you guys, it is an intense time. Wow. So much going on, but we are here. And I hope that you find words of hope, that there's a lot of work, but there is possibility for sure. And I'm excited for that for all of us. So thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you all. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great time. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Amanda. Okay. Oh, gosh. How funny. All right.
Thanks, Panda.
Yeah. You're welcome, Min.
Thank you. Bye, Panda.
Bye, Shannon. All right. I'm going to stop recording.
Thank you.
I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. Life is going to speed up, but by having the right people around you, you'll not only meet the challenge of the new 2025 paradigm, you'll actually thrive. And if you'd like to join us on our next Coffee and Charts Live in 2 weeks, just DM me coffee on Instagram at It's Panda Hershey, and I'll send you the link. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.